Well, it's been a few days since we talked about the Pontiac project, and everybody's been asking me about it. Austin, what's going on with your Pontiac 350 build? Why haven't we gotten an update? Why aren't you up at the shop working with Mr. Bob McVeigh to get your Pontiac 350 engine running so you can get that thing ready to rock and roll for Pontiac Nationals? Well, I'll give you a very honest answer, because parts are a pain in my neck. And I'm quickly learning one of the main reasons that nobody builds Pontiac 350 power. Because it's hard to get parts. Now, if you've never built a Pontiac, the neat thing about Pontiac is they're all pretty similar. As far as the outside dimensions go, they're basically the same thing. The 350, the 400, the 455, that whole generation is basically all the same. Same accessories, same heads move back and forth, basically. Block diameters or block size are physically the same, which is all great. Unfortunately, the insides, specifically one piece, is largely different. Now, the 350 shares rods with the 400, which is great because people build plenty of 400s. The 455 uses a different set of rods, but lots of people build lots of 455s, so that's not a problem. So rods are not the problem. Can you guess what it is? I really want to vent about this one. By the way, if you haven't seen it yet, that is my insanely epic hood for the 1968 Pontiac LeMans project. I am so happy with how that turned out. I believe this is the first time I've ever actually shown you this. It does have 2 coats of clear on it right now, and it looks absolutely amazing. Now, listen, I don't know who he modeled that after, but I'm just saying. Anyway, I have had a dickens of a time finding parts to get this thing ready to rock and roll. This particular part, specifically, this is a 30 over Pontiac 350 piston. And these are essentially impossible to find. Much more so than I expected this to be, because I looked it up on that place that we all buy discount auto parts, Rock Auto, and they showed, hey, there are tons of them available. What size would you like them in? So I just figured, all right, let's rock and roll. Let's order some pistons. Oh, not so much. So here we are on rockauto.com. This is looked up as a 1970, which is what my block is, LeMans with a 350, right? So you go to engine, then you go down to the pistons, right there. 4-inch bore, 4-inch bore, 4-inch bore, 4-inch bore, 4-inch bore, 4-inch bore. Pontiac 350 does not have a 4-inch bore. It has a 3 7/8 bore, and you do not have the ability to bore out 1/8 of an inch on that thing. So 4-inch pistons, not actually an option. So everything listed on Rock Auto doesn't work. So here we are with our friends at Jegs. And we looked this up again as a 1970 Pontiac LeMans with a 350. You can see there, 400 cubic inch. Then some inline 6 Chevy stuff, 400 cubic inch Pontiac stuff, 350 Pontiac. What? Yeah, that's not going to work. So that doesn't work. 400 inch. Then we're getting into rings, and we're some Chevy stuff, and some more inline 6 stuff. Nothing. Okay. That's not a good sign. So let's go check out the boys up north. Let's look at Summit. Again, look this up exactly the same way. 4150, definitely not the right size. 4150, not the right size. 4120, definitely not the right size. And you're going to notice that this continues to be a problem. And then we get into like some inline 6 stuff at some point in time. There you go, inline 6 stuff. Not the right stuff, not the right stuff, not the right stuff, not the right stuff. Blah, 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 blah. I then called everybody that I know that works on Pontiac stuff. I called Butler. They are Ross pistons, and they are 6 to 10 weeks out for a custom set of pistons. And they're custom pistons, and they're expensive. I called Kauffman. Nope. Called Icon. Nope. Everybody I could talk to, nobody's got them in stock. Now, DSS had a set of forged blanks that they could cut for me and make me a set of pistons, but it was going to be probably 2 weeks or so, and they're forged, which I don't need because we're not throwing boost at this thing or tremendous amounts of nitrous. So they're, pricey pistons. And I'm looking for just a basic set of cast or hyper-eutectic pistons. So I had one option, but it was 3 times the price that I really, really wanted. So I'm screwed. You can't punch a block. You can't build a motor if you don't have pistons. The rods, not a problem. I can get those. I can get forged eagle rods. But pistons, I'm telling you, you couldn't find them. So I did a bunch of hunting around, trying to figure out what was the proper part number for what I'm looking to do. I want a flat top piston with valve reliefs, 350 Pontiac. That's 30 or even 40 or 60 over. I just need a set of friggin' pistons. So I finally found the part number that would work. Ta-da! Silverlight cast piston, part number 1520.03, which means it's a 30 over piston. There she is, right there. However, you'll notice that it says right here, June 24th, 2024. And if we look up this exact same part number on Jegs, right there, June 26th, 2024. So you can order whatever you want, but Silverlight doesn't actually have these in stock. Keith Black does not have these in stock. So I don't know when you're going to get them. I happen to find the last set that Summit actually had in stock in their inventory. When I ordered them, immediately that website now showed it was back ordered out to July. And we actually called to verify if their parts were available and see if they actually had some, and they actually don't have any. So if you wanted to build a Pontiac 350 right now, you could not get pistons for it. So because of the fact that I could not get pistons for this thing, we have been delayed a little over a week and a half. Also, I was on power tour, which made this a little bit trickier. So I do now have my pistons. We can now start moving forward on this, but interesting lesson learned. I didn't expect this to be a problem. I'll tell you, I've built a number of different Pontiac motors, and this will be the first 350 that I've built. And I did not expect this to be a problem. I did not think that this was going to be tricky. Especially when you're on a time crunch, this is a big thing. When you're wasting an entire week waiting on pistons because you can't do anything with the block until you got pistons and rods and a rotating assembly. You can cut things and make everything fit. I've just wasted an entire week of productivity, so it's going to throw a wrench into the works as far as this Pontiac project goes. I'm still going to definitely work on the Pontiac and get it moving forward, but I think I need to start planning on a plan B in case we don't get this thing done in time. And that would be my plan B. This is my 1970 LeMans 455 powered turbo 350 B&M transmission, 336 rear gears. This is a street car. This is not a race car, but it's got some good bones to it. I've got Snowflake 15s on the rear. I've got Riddler 15s on the front because I destroyed a wheel when a interesting catastrophe happened, and this wheel decided to leave the car. Damaged the barrel of the wheel, so I just figured why not just go ahead and get a Snowflake wheel for it, because I think that's going to be a good look for it. But I need to put slicks on this, and I think this is going to be the idea for our plan B in case we don't get the Pontiac 350 done for the 1968 that's in the backyard back there. You can probably see it from here. It's right there. But in order to make this thing ready to go and capable of doing what we need it to do, it needs a slick on the back. And I think I'm going to do snowflakes on this thing. It also needs brakes, and it needs a bunch of other stuff. So I don't want to give up on that 68 project, but I feel like timetable-wise we're really pushing it, because we're now basically the last week of June, and then we've got July 4th week, which is going to be kind of a half-wasted week as it is. And then we'd really love to be out testing and get some seat time in this thing, because we don't want to show up with a completely untested car that we don't know anything about and seeing what it does. That doesn't make any sense. So it really needs to be something that we can get done in a hurry. And this car is not far from being at least fun to drive. So I think I need to probably start making some plans to be able to have plan B ready. I think I need to figure out a slick situation for this car. I need to figure out brakes for this car, and then probably leave pretty much stock suspension underneath it. We're not looking to light the world on fire, and I'm not trying to make this car a race car, but I do want to make it a better car, and brakes would be a good idea. It's a four-wheel drum car on a 455, so it could probably use some brake upgrades anyway. So I think that's what we're going to do, guys. Like I said, I'm going to still keep moving forward on the Pontiac 350 build. That's going to happen. I'm already well down that path. That is in the to-do list. I just think maybe timing-wise, it's not the greatest timing. And I was not expecting that massive complication with the pistons. I figured I could just click a button and I would have pistons here in a day. Not what happened. So I've at least got them in my hand, and unfortunately I'm stuck at work, working on the desk on Thursday and Friday this week, so I can't get up and see Bob anyway to be able to drop off my pistons and rods. So I'll have to do that for next week, and then we've got to try to bust as much as we can to be able to make progress on that motor as fast as possible. In the meantime, I need to start figuring out what I need to do to get this thing plan B in one piece and ready to rock and roll. So you guys were asking for an update. You wanted to know what was going on with the Pontiac project. That's what's going on with the Pontiac project. Unfortunately, we ran into a major snag which threw back our timetable quite a bit, and it's going to probably change the project. It's probably not going to get ready for Pontiac Nationals, but I'm going to sure try. I'm going to do my very best. But either way, one of these two cars will be ready and at Pontiac Nationals this year. So that's where we are with it, guys. This is Automotive Adventures with Austin, my own little personal corner of the internet. It's just kind of my own personal stuff, my projects and stuff that I work on. That's kind of my afternoons and evenings and weekends kind of stuff outside of my official responsibilities here at Lucor Automotive. I just wanted to film a video real quick, give you guys an update on what's going on, why you haven't heard anything from it, and why you haven't seen me working on anything. It was because I couldn't get my hands on pistons. But I have my hands on some now, so I get to work. Anyways, guys, have a great one. Take care. Bye-bye.